I was checking the news recently. A rare thing for me. I prefer to remain detached from the world wherever I can. And it looks like there's a bunch of chaos going on in the Middle East, mainly focused on, well, the West and Iran. And one of my first thoughts has been, well, how is this going to affect AI? Like, my AI apprenticeship is starting soon. I can't have any geopolitical conflicts getting in the way. I won't say I fully understand the politics of what's going on, but it looks like, as of right now, things have gotten a bit crazy around Iran and the wider Middle Eastern nations. Like, Iran's getting struck all over the place on a daily basis, and it seems to be retaliating by attacking Western military bases in nearby countries, while also trying to restrict trade in the nearby waterways, so specifically the Strait of Hormuz. Now, as usual, the media is going wild with doom and gloom, and even my colleagues have started talking about this, although they seem convinced that somehow the small northern city that we live in the UK, is going to come. It's going to come under attack. That's what they're worried about. But my concern is, how is this going to affect AI? Will there be an impact on its development and funding? We're already hearing predictions about there being an AI bubble. Is this something that will push it over the edge and pop? But why would this be a problem? Why would a conflict in the Middle East negatively impact AI? Well, let's take a look at what AI needs to function, like from the perspective of someone with only the most basic grasp of how AI works. And what I'm saying is that these are just my thoughts on the matter. I'm no expert in any of this, and I'd love to be corrected if anything I say is wrong. But here we go. The infrastructure that these AI services rely on, the data centers, are pretty much, from my understanding, giant warehouses of computers. Now, I know it's in reality a lot more complicated than that, but let's say that for now. And computers need a couple of things to run, including energy and some means to dissipate all the heat that's generated, which in a lot of cases is water, so you can't just slap a few extra fans on and call it a day. But the electricity is what's the problem here. Now, here in the UK, AI data centers are getting thrown up faster than our energy grid is being upgraded to handle the extra load, and I imagine it's pretty similar in most countries around the world at the moment. As consumers in the UK, we pay some of the highest, if not the highest, energy prices in the world, and despite having gone really hard on renewables, so like wind and solar, which do make up a massive portion of the energy we use, you can actually see right now how much is being generated, and I'll leave a link in the description. But the wind isn't always blowing and the sun isn't always shining, and while we do have some nuclear, we are still reliant on fossil fuels, so natural gas, to fill in the gaps. And this is where the big problem lies. Going back to Iran then, with them trying to shut down all the trade throughout the Strait of Hormuz, this is affecting a number of fossil fuel producing and exporting countries, so like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, and so on, which will inevitably lead to less available, like on the global markets. In the UK, Qatar is somehow one of our biggest suppliers of natural gas, and with that limited, I don't have much hope for our energy prices next time they're reviewed. We have this regulator called Ofgem here, which is the Office for Gas and Electrical Markets, not to be confused with Ofcom, which is everyone's favourite online safety regulator. But Ofgem sets the maximum price the electricity companies can charge us based on all kinds of things really. But with natural gas becoming much more limited, the next review is not going to be fun. And this is what I think might have an impact on the future of AI. These companies that provide AI services are already burning through cash to get everything in place and working. And now with the increase in energy costs on the horizon, what's going to happen next? Perhaps governments can help them out through subsidies, or perhaps adding it onto the bills of domestic consumers, like an AI data center charge on top of whatever we're going to have to pay. But how will they be able to justify this? Like, we already took a huge beating with electricity prices in 2022, which seems like a lifetime ago now. So people won't be very happy if they have to pay more to keep the data centers on. And it's my understanding that the financial markets are so tied up in AI and AI development that it's almost becoming too big to fail at the moment. So I don't know, is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Are we really going to have another once in a generation market crash because of this, like 2008 all over again? I don't really have any answers for this. Maybe things will just blow over and be okay. Maybe I'm just getting worried about nothing. And I hope this is the case, but I can't see us getting out of this without some kind of impact. Although I did think this for the recent pandemic, like that we would see a huge prolonged crash, but it never seemed to happen. Like, maybe we will be able to kick the can down the road once more. AI is becoming such an awesome tool, and there are so many possibilities of what it can be used for that I'm sure that I can't even imagine yet. It would be a huge shame for this to get too out of hand. But I'll end on what can we do in this situation, and that is not too much really, other than keep ourselves safe. Try not to waste too much money on like a load of nonsense, and have some saved away in case things go bad. And if there is another big crash in the markets, this might be an opportunity for those who are good with their finances. But I'm going to go back into my shell now of being a loner. I'm sure that whatever happens in the long run will all be okay, and we can go back to generating all kinds of AI slop at our leisure. Like, at the moment I'm loving seeing these meow videos, so it's like a cat and an owl in one. But until next time though, thanks for listening.